-2, sufficient to keep the snow on the trees for now, and very, very high humidity, interesting wax conditions, and a little bit of wind, but the wind variable. That is what will cause problems, not the strength of it, as we prepare for the final race of the weekend. We start in just 3 minutes' time, and the course is one you know very well, Mike.
It is. It's we're getting used to it now. There's the extension which the ladies' race didn't go on, and they'll climb back up into the stadium area. Little recovery down this section here before the right-hander. 600 meters to go to the shooting range. Rated as a track where you get such little recovery, so it's not about the mega fast downhills or the mega steep uphills. It's about the constant undulations which really don't allow you to recover, and it is viewed as one of the harder World Cup tracks on the circuit.
Okay, let's have a look at the start sheet so you know where your favourites are. If you're a Russian, you'll be glad to see that Ustigov and Makeyev have done well this season. They're in the top 10 of the World Cup standings. Bjorn Ferry, Olympic titles may be, but he's down in 13th at the moment. And Arndt Pfeiffer, yesterday's winner, wearing bib number 15. Lars Berger, good to see him racing. He was great on the first half of yesterday's race, but then threw it away with 3 misses in the stand. A familiar story. Hopefully he can get it right today, but he's got 20 targets to hit rather than 10. Martin Fourcade, are we going to see the sort of form we saw from him in Östersund, the first round of the World Cup, or do you think that was reaching peak form too early in the season?
Well, he was in great form, and largely through his fantastic shooting up in Östersund. If he gets the shooting form back today, I think he has certainly a podium position. Although with him not starting in the sprint yesterday, we don't know 100% if he's going to be in top form.
Well, Svendsen should be in the red bib, but as all the bibs are red, Svensson's gone for purple today. So if you're slightly confused by that, that's what it is. They're not all leading the mass start standings. It is Svendsen who is the one who sticks out. He's a real competitor in these situations. And for me, Svendsen has maybe a 15 to 20 second margin over all the fields as far as his ski speed is concerned. But as we know, it's a combination of skiing and shooting. And you can get it right one day, you can get it horribly wrong the next. Just ask Ustigov, who had a nightmare in the relay. Simon Schemp, he'd do well just to stick in behind his teammate Arndt Pfeiffer today. There's Simon Fourcade. Is he going to get the win that he so desperately wants, Mike?
It's thereabouts. Maybe this man, Michael Schlesinger, he did well yesterday, but not quite the ski pace he wanted.
Ladies and gentlemen,
the countdown has started for the start of the final race here in Oberhof. All 30 men lined up, 3 ranks of them, and in the middle is the number 1, Martin Fourcade, looking for his 3rd win of the season. Everyone eager to get a good position. Svendsen on the far side, looks poised for a fast start. Simon Fourcade wearing 9. Schlesinger wearing 10, nearest the camera. It's not an easy position because the first turn goes round to the right, and away they go. Up go the cheers.
And off they go. It wasn't the cleanest of starts again, but no recall, no problem, and an electric start as expected. Svendsen taking the lead. Do you think Svendsen is going to, with his great ski form, he missed 3 yesterday and finished just in 6th position. He's got a little edge on everybody, I think, with the form that he has at the moment.
Well, he might have, Mike. The only problem he's got is there's been, another centimetre, a little bit more than that, of fresh snow since they last pressed the tracks, and that might mean that leading the way is harder work than just following. So I don't know whether Svendsen will try and break clear. I don't know whether he'll find it possible to break clear. But what he can do is dictate the pace. He can say, I know I can shoot well when I work hard, I'll make everyone suffer, or he can just slow it down to increase his chances of getting 5 out of 5 on the first shoot.
Quite likely, but it must be in the back of Svendsen's mind to miss 3 targets, only hitting 70%, when all those around him in the top 20 yesterday, the next worst score was only 1 out of 10, so must be in the back of his mind for today.
Now, the one advantage of leading, as he is at the moment, is the fact that he gets to ski at his own tempo, with his own length of glide, and it is much more relaxing than having to fight and jostle for position in the pack further back.
Clement Bauer, I just saw him on the right of our screen. He was trying to go wide around some of the athletes ahead of him. He couldn't get past. But there he is, 24. That's a Fak, of course. And Bauer just to his right, so Bauer's crossed into the other side of the lane.
Number 20, that's Danny Mesetic from Austria. One or two of those who could have started have not started. You'll notice that we haven't mentioned the great Ole Einar Bjorndalen. He's sitting out this round of the World Cup. Tarja Bo, #1 in the world and the overall World Cup winner last year, also sitting out this round of the World Cup. We've got Grice missing, Landertinger is not here, Alexei Volkov of Russia has decided not to race, as has Beatrix and Hakkinen from the USA. 17, Yaroslav Sukup, the teammate of Michael Schlesinger.
Sukup started so well on this racing season, but has dropped a little on the last World Cup before Christmas. His shooting form dropped off.
Well, it's quite a punishing pace, Mike. It's not often that they're reduced to Indian file after just a couple of kilometres. They're usually in a very, very tight bunch. It might turn out to be that as they approach the range for the first time, if the leaders decide to ease up. But I think Svensson's tactics are, I know that I'm on the best form, so if I work hard, everyone else is going to be suffering more than me when they come in for the first shoot.
It's a brave man with the tactics he's showing here. It's Svensson. Now, there's a broken pole. I heard some language on the track. It was German and it wasn't good language. I think it was an Austrian, actually. But it looks like the basket has been snapped off his left pole.
Well, there you see the concertina effect, and that is why it's very, very good to be in positions 2, 3, 4 or 5. So the two Fourcade brothers in absolutely the right position. We've also got Yevgeny Ustigov up there in the leading 4. Just trying to pick out yesterday's winner, Mike. Arndt Piper wearing bib number 15.
I haven't quite picked up. There's a gaggle of Germans coming through now. That's Schemp.
Bernbacher and Schemp have gone through. There is Arndt Piper. And the Swedes with Bjorn Ferry and, of course, Carl-Johan Bergman.
Svensson absolutely fearless, but there's definitely, as you mentioned earlier, there's about ½ centimetre of new snow, so the person leading it's slightly harder work. You're trailblazing.
He looks very relaxed, though, doesn't he, Mike? He's not really fussed by the fighting that's going on behind him, but this is just one of the great scenes in biathlon. The world's top 30 all stacked one behind the other, and not only are they skiing hard, but they're also starting to think about the first shoot. It is so crucial. You do not want to throw it away at this stage, because once you start playing catch-up, your chances of succeeding go down and down and down. Benny Vega, he's about 8th position back, Mike. We need to mention him because he's had a brilliant season for Switzerland.
He really has, and he's still such a young athlete, Benny Vega. He's been inspired by Dario Cologna, watching Cologna over the last 5-6 seasons. And he thinks, well, if it can be done in cross-country skiing, why can't I do it in biathlon? And he really has worked on his shooting, which has been another large part of his success this season.
Now, are we going to see two brothers on the podium for the first time? Simon Fourcade just obstructing his brother Martin, but I think actually it's Bernbacher who's trying to come through on the outside, and the French nipping straight across. Martin Fourcade saying, no, that's my position. Very quick reactions, no damage done. But it just shows that Martin Fourcade wants to control things. I suspect he wants to get into the range first because he's got to go all the way up to lane number 1 anyway.
That's so true, but all that early hit from Svensson, the big pace, hasn't really paid off. He did have separation, but they're all back together now.
But that surely is always the way it happens, because the men at the front just say, I'm going to ease up and just bring the pulse rate down before that first shoot. Last little loop There's a steep climb to the right in a moment, and then they'll ski alongside the stands that are holding some 20,000 spectators, and they think they've got another 10,000 out in the woods. It is a brilliant atmosphere, and I tell you what, Ruhpolding are going to find it tough to beat this.
They are. And that's the only negative for Ruhpolding. You can't quite pack the numbers of people into the forest along the trackside.
That surely is what they should try and do. Build some pedestrian bridges, get them into the woods where they can support, because it's not just about the range area.
No, and it gives the atmosphere for us, the spectators, for the racers as well. It's just a corridor of noise, and you almost forget the pain, the discomfort that you're in, because these spectators help you push through.
Mickey Lofgren, former skier for Sweden, he's the ultimate crime and switched to the Norwegian team, and my goodness, he's had a lot of success with Norway.
He has had so much success, and he's a very calm operator, and he's got a lovely sense of humour, and I think he's helped relax and build a team spirit in the Norwegian team, which maybe in earlier years they haven't had. But also a former overall World Cup winner, Mickey Lofgren, for Sweden back in the early 90s. Multiple junior world champion as well.
Well, it helps to have a little bit of respect from the men that you are trying to coach, especially when their names are Svendsen and Bjorndalen. Nervous moments for all the fans here. We've got Norwegians, Russians in great numbers, but undoubtedly it is Germany who have the most support, and they've had a really good week. The scope's prepared. Who does he watch? Because all his athletes are in at the same time. I suspect it will be cued on one Emil Hegle Svendsen.
It will. I can't believe that Martin Fourcade put in such a turn of pace there just to get this 2-second advantage.
The wind has dropped to virtually nothing. First to strike is Simon Fourcade, not Martin, who's taking his time over the first round. Taking a lot of time. It's 5-6 seconds, and he's thrown it wide, so he won't lead the way out of the stadium. Simon Fourcade has cleared all 5. He started how he finished off yesterday. Bernbach and Vega have gone 5 with 5. Makaviev and Russia is clear. Graf, Ferry, Suman, all 5 with 5. And surprisingly, Ustikov, who had such a nightmare in the relay, has started badly once again. He's going to be at least 45 seconds behind, probably closer to 50. And the hero of the Italian relay, Lukas Hofer, has blown it.
It's amazing what biathlon day-to-day can do for you. Hofer finished 4th yesterday's sprint. His confidence should have been high because he hit all 10 targets. He's going to miss 3 out of 5 in the prone.
But he's that sort of character that he's going to need continual calming down. Every time he does well, he's going to get excited and race too hard and forget about the discipline involved in preparing for the shoot. And you feel that that's going to be the way all the way through his career.
It seems that way, but he's the only person to have missed 3 targets, and he's going to be, two others have, Schemp and also Prima, and they're going to have a lonely race there at the back of the field.
Well, the top 10 all clear. Anton Shipulin, the first to have missed for Russia. One shoot completed, 3 still to go. I just get the feeling this is going to build to a fantastic climax. The shooting conditions are better than they've been all the way through the week here in Oberhof. So we should see at least 3 men going clear, probably more. Nice to see the Americans up in the top positions. Lowell Bailey, who's had such a good season, he really can ski with the best now.
He is. He's got that confidence, the belief in his own ability, and no challenge seems to be too much for him. There he is, 2nd place, aggressive, strong.
Florian Graf, it is leading for Germany. There's Svensson, still well positioned, down in around 7th or 8th. And at the back of the leading group, Mickey Rusch of Germany, who blew it yesterday with some poor shooting. Vega is still there, number 4.
Just thinking, earlier this morning, only the 10 best women shot 5 out of 5. It's only 10 out of the best 30 hit all 5 targets in the prone. We've actually got 19 of the best men having cleared the first 5 targets.
But the women had a bit of some awkward wind. It wasn't so strong, but it did switch direction during the race, and it certainly changed significantly between their zeroing hour and the actual race time. So that might explain why so many missed. And you picked out a very interesting fact, Mike, that all the misses came in lanes 1 through to 11.
They did in the women's, and it was that slight influence, and that is the strength of the influence from the wind, how it affects the fall of the shot.
Here we go. It's always makes me nervous to see the coaches running alongside a big group like this, because you can guarantee they'll get in the way of someone, and that someone won't be one of his own team members. So best for them just to step aside and let the masses go through.
Carl-Johan Bergman, I'm surprised he's been shooting so well in the pro, and he's in 23rd place, missed 1 target.
Is this going to be the big day for the Americans? Who's the best American biathlete we've ever seen?
Well, Josh Thompson, which was some 20 years ago, he was fantastic. He was leading World Cups. He could win World Cups, second at the World Championships in the individual in 1987. Jay Hakkinen, for me, has been up there in some on his best days with Josh. And of course, Lau Bailey is now cutting it regularly with the best biathletes in this modern era.
Yeah, and Tim Burke had a really good start last season, so they're getting up there in numbers. Nice to see that Jay Hakkinen is racing better than he was last year. And Hakkinen, of course, junior world champion, but you have to go all the way back to 97 for that to find that in the record books. As we watch Graf go through, watch for the other big names. Bernbacher's there in 3rd. Simon Foucault leading Martin Foucault. That was a really poor shoot from Martin. Slightly bizarre, Mike, that he put in a burst before the first shoot, took ages to settle, and still threw the first shot wide.
The one thing that in fact, you never see from a biathlete is putting in a turn of pace in the range. It's all about calming down, preparing yourself, and he put this little mini sprint in, and then took an age to fire his first shot.
Well, the tracks are looking very glazed. You can see the shiny bits. Now, it's not always a problem, but you will find 1 or 2 slipping. If you don't get the edge of the ski, if you don't get purchased with that, the ski can just slip away from you. And we've just seen one of the Russians there, I think that was Makiviev, just stumbling a little.
We mentioned Martin Foucault. He's the fastest of those who've been on the penalty lap, and he's in 20th position now, and he's closed by some 4 seconds, so he's attacking out there behind this lead group of 19.
He's attacking because he has to attack, having missed on that first shoot. He will need 5 with 5 this time round. Number 12 is Florian Graf of Germany. 11, Lau Bailey of the United States. If he's still in 2nd position coming round the last lap, he will be on a high and looking for that elusive win. Simon Foucault, likewise. It would be nice to see Simon win a race, Mike. He's had plenty of podium positions. Well, Kirchner looks calm enough at the moment, but as his teammates approach the range, I guess the pulse rate will go up a little. He of course, a huge amount of success at world and Olympic level, and nice to see him back working with the German team. And that's something the Germans are very good at, Mike, perhaps more than any other nation, bringing their ex-athletes into work with the team members.
I think so. We saw it there. Fritz Fischer getting snowballed in the early part of the coverage here. Of course, all the big names regenerating with the junior teams, the women's team and the men's senior team.
Now, after what we saw with Martin Foucault on that first shoot, I'm not sure I'd want lane number 1. We'll see if Florian Graf has any trouble. Lau Bailey, lane 2 for USA, shooting left-handed, and Andy Bernbacher alongside him. Yellow flashes, remember, indicating a miss. Berth, Foucault, Makiviev, Berth the first man to miss, and Makiviev also goes wide. Florian Graf, 1 penalty to pay. Bernbacher is now clear. Svendsen taking his time. Oh, I was just about to say making sure, but he throws number 5 wide. Benny Vega keeps his run of form going with another clear shoot, and nice to see Christoph Suman of Austria, the best of the Austrians in the World Cup standings at the moment. He's put in a good performance so far. Bergman, 2 wins under his belt. He's still in the running for a 3rd one here today. And Ustik off now. We got a who's that who's gone down?
Oh, that must have been nope, Austrian. That's Suman.
Is that Suman who's gone down? It is Suman, and he's lost some 20 seconds with that mistake.
I didn't see what happened. He must have put his pole in between his skis.
Bauer, Bernbacher, Bailey, Pfeiffer and Vega, the leading 5 after shoot number 2. Let's see where Lau Bailey's shots are going. That was nice, just outside the 9 ring, smacking the 10 with shot number 4 and number 5 just dropping a little low. Good grouping.
That was beautiful shooting from Lau Bailey. He's a man really in form right now.
So the top 8 are clear, and everyone else has missed at least one. Simon Fourcade dropping out of the top 10 with his miss. Well, we've had our fair share of exciting races over this weekend, and it looks as though we're in for another one. Just to wrap up the biathlon action, the leading group are coming down. Someone was asleep there, and is that Graf or Bernbacher without a pole?
I think that was Bernbacher. Didn't see exactly. It's Pfeiffer.
Well, the very fact that so many of the German team were out there, it's not the same pole, but it looks to be reasonably similar in length. That was Lau Bailey taking some fluid on board. Not a bad idea in warm conditions like today.
And look at Vega in there again from Switzerland. He's now able to cut it apparently so easy with the best. Bauer is going to push this pace so hard. The Slovenian, bib number 26.
Yeah, he'll be one man who's appreciating the slightly warmer conditions, Mike. Looking strong, but we also know, Mike, that his standing shooting is his weak link, so I'd be quite surprised if he came through to take the win. So number 5, that is Andy Bernbacher. He looks so strong on skis, and just at the back of that leading group is Switzerland's Benny Vega.
Now Bauer has realised that this pace is just too painful. He's backed off, wanting someone else to lead. He really has pushed it hard from the range. No one wants to take it on. They're going to have to make a move, or the next pack is going to catch them. Pfeiffer. You don't often see these kind of tactics in the biathlon races.
Well, certainly not at this stage of a race. We still have 2 shoots to go. And I think that's a point worth remembering, Mike, because we've already seen this week how dangerous it is to push the first half of the lap, because the second half is just as hard. And we've seen a lot of people lose 10-15 seconds by going too hard early on. And I think, well, I'm hoping Clement Bauer has learnt his lesson there.
I think he might well have, but we're just over halfway, so it's going to be, what, 37, 39 minutes.
Yeah, and there's a fairly hungry bunch of biathletes coming up behind, containing a former overall World Cup winner, Svensson, on the left of your screen. Number 23, that's Anton Shapulin, brilliant junior for the Russians. Number 7, his teammate, Andrei Mekaviv, just behind him. And then Sweden have Bjorn Ferry. I'm looking for Carl-Johan Bergman. Mike, any sign of Bergman? There's Lindström for Sweden.
Just trying to pick on.
And no sign of Bergman at the moment. In fact, he's down in 16th place, Carl-Johan Bergman, and he's missed 1 on the first shoot. But it doesn't look as though his ski form is quite the same as it was prior to the Christmas break.
Yes, he's at the tail end of the chasing pack. Berger's in there as well. Lars Berger has only missed 1, but he hasn't really had a good run at the track. Of course, he started back in, well, he's bib 22.
So we've got Pfeiffer and Bernbacher for Germany, both of whom have an 84% hit rate in the standing position. Clement Bauer looking very, very strong at the moment, but I can tell you his standing shooting does not match that. I'm just trying to find out exactly what it's been over the last few months. 53%. So if anyone's going to drop out of this leading five, it's likely to be Clement Bauer.
I think I was just going through my mind was that, well, from these five, there will be at least two of them go on the penalty loop, so picking up some missed targets.
So Lowell Bailey has got a 73% rate. The man who's got the best shooting record in the stand position from the leading group of five is, of course, Benny Vega. 90%. 90%. But he needs 100% on this shoot to maintain a position in the leading group. Who is confident? Who can cope with the pressure implied by the crowd? And believe you me, it is immense if you're wearing the German colours. Every shot missed will produce a 19,000 strong groan.
So the snow covers have come off the rifles, poles down.
Pfeiffer, nearest the camera, looks to have adopted a nice strong position. Nice to see Bauer's first two targets have gone down. He's got 3 out of 3. Best standing shoot we've seen from him so far this season. Is he going to get 5? He does get 5. Fantastic shooting from Clement Bauer. Well, I can't remember the last time we saw that. Bailey has missed, Vega has missed, Pfeiffer has missed, and it's down to a two-man chase at the front of the field.
That was phenomenal from the Slovenian.
Is anyone going to come through from the chasing group? Mike Shapulin's got 4 out of 4. Svensson's thrown number 4 wide. Shapulin is clear. Foucault, Simon Foucault's on the comeback. And Karl-Johan Bergman, who's kept a low profile so far, is going through 5 out of 5 alongside Danny Mesetic.
Well, that lead group of 5, Pfeiffer really pushed it, extended the pace, really hurt the rest of the athletes. And Vega was at the back of the 5, suffering, I think, with the pace, and he missed 2 targets.
There goes Bergman. He's now 27.5 behind. He's only missed 1 today, so I'm not quite sure what happened to him, whether he took it easy over the first couple of laps. That would be good news for the Swede, but I suspect he's not skiing quite as well as he was when he was in Hogfilson just prior to Christmas. Clement Bauer, 5 with 5.
And made it look easy, made it very fast.
It was fast, it was steady, it was rhythmical, it was perfect. And he goes out first, just 1 second ahead of Andy Bernbacher, and Simon Foucault, who led the early stages, is back in contention, just 19 seconds off the lead. So 1 shoot to go. We started with a group of 30. It went down to 15 after the first shoot. We had 5 after the third shoot, and now we have 2 with just 1 shoot remaining. Slovenia versus Germany. Andy Bernbacher has won before. Clement Bauer has been close, but Mike, what are his nerves going to be like?
Well, if he does exactly as he did this last time, he's fine. And you know what? He shot so fast, he built a firm position, and there was no thought process. I really hope that the thought process isn't kicking off now. He just needs to go in as normal and routine, magazine in, into position, same fast 5.
Now, if these two come out together on the last loop, I sort of fancy Clement Bauer to be able to outski Andy Bernbacher, but as we mentioned before the last shoot, Bauer's shooting record, 53% in the stand. He's just pushed that up to somewhere close to 60% hit rate in the standing position for the season, but it's still way, way below that achieved by Andy Bernbacher. And don't forget, in the background, we have Simon Foucault, and he's being pushed hard by Anton Shapulin. Both these men have thrown caution to the wind. They're putting in a blisteringly quick final lap, or penultimate lap, we should say.
And both of these men have just missed 1 target. Shapulin missed 1 in the first visit, and Foucault 1 in the second time in the prone.
Nice to see Bergman in the mix again as the 2 leaders just ease it off a little. This is where Clement Bauer asked someone else to do the donkey work on the last lap. No one was willing. Well, he's really eased up, and that well, it could be good for the shooting, but it might be bad when it comes to the amount of competition that he has on the range for the last shoot.
Thomas Koss, he is delighted. Thomas was a great shot, from the Czech Republic, but he's been working with the Slovenian team for some years now.
If you're wondering why Andy Bernbach is trying to grab Clement Bauer's pole, the reason is he doesn't want to get a tungsten tip in the midriff. So he's permitted to do that, but usually they just do it on the downhills to keep them nicely spaced out. Clement Bauer easing up. He will be well aware that Fourcade and Chapulin are coming up from behind. Now, Fourcade is in a good position now, isn't he?
He's looking good, isn't he? There's no apparent discomfort and facial expressions.
Now, from the groups behind Mike, Bergman, Piper we've seen skiing together. Mesetic, Lindström of Austria and Sweden are in 7 and 8. Makaviv, Lars Berger is still in the running. I'm trying to find Lars. There he is on the far side, wearing bib number 22. Don't be surprised if he hits all 5. He might do something special on the last lap. Lindström going well for Sweden, but it's Carl-Johan Bergman who's got the best chance. And number 17, Jaroslav Sukup, has been there or thereabouts all the way through today.
The shooting is quite amazing. We've got 12 athletes just gone through, and nobody's shot any worse than 2 out of 15 penalties.
What about Svensson? I can see him at the back of the second chasing group, Mike. What about his shooting record?
He's gone 0, 1, 2. It's a bad day for the Norwegian.
That's a sequence he doesn't want to continue.
No. What is he going to have to do? Maybe his strength of will hit all the 5 in the last stand, in which case he can move from 22nd probably up into the top 10.
We only had one woman clear this morning with 20 out of 20. We still have 1, 2 men with 15 out of 15 approaching the closing stages of this race, and they're both in front. Bauer leads Bernbacher by a matter of 1.5 meters. It's Germany versus Slovenia.
Well, Clement Bauer has led from the range to the range, and you can see just by the way he's gasping the air into his lungs, he's been working hard.
Yeah, my money would, if I was going to put any on it, it would go on Bernbacher. Remember that pursuit in Hochfilzen that he won with a perfect 20 out of 20. He's in a similar situation now. Having been there, he surely knows how to deal with the pressure.
And look at the concentration on the face of Bernbacher, and he's just, I think you're right, he's just centering himself. He hasn't kept his eyes from the tail end of the skis. Thomas Koss looking quietly confident.
Yeah, quietly confident, quietly nervous, I would say. My heart desperately wants Clement Bauer to do as he did 10 minutes ago and clear the 5 targets, because I'd love to see a ski race to the line between these two.
Clement Bauer's best ever previous was 4th at the Olympic Games in the 10-kilometer sprint.
If he wins this, he will forget that 4th place in the Olympics. Advantage Germany, big advantage Germany. Oh, 1, 2, 3 have gone wide, and Andy Bernbacher clears the 5. Now Fourcade and Chapulin are going to have to shoot quickly. 3 out of 3, 4 out of 4. It's brilliant shooting from the pair, and it's Fourcade who gets the clean sheet. He is on the chase. Bernbacher cannot celebrate quite yet. The rest, I'm afraid, are fighting for 3rd and 4th position. Bergman's thrown one wide. Piper misses another one. Lindström is going to get the best result we've seen from him for a long time.
Lars Berger, it could have been so good, a top 5 position.
It could have been. It's a big if. It's a giant if, Mike, and the same applies to Clement Bauer.
Yes, it does. And Lindström, this could be his best day, going out in 3rd position.
Well, what a week for Germany. They could make it 4 out of 4 in the individual events. Neuner doubled up in the sprint and the mass start. Arne Piper, of course, getting the win in the men's sprint. And now Bernbacher with a 12-second lead over Simon Fourcade as they head for the finish.
Svensson, we said if he shoots clear, he could move from 22nd up into the top 10. He's done just that. He's in 10th position.
10th position, having shot 0, 1, 2, 0, so a total of 3 misses for Svensson. In the past, he could have missed 3 and had a good chance of finishing in the top 3, but that is not the case today. Look how accurate those shots are. The last 2 spot on the prone target. That takes some doing.
And the only man to hit 20 out of 20 today. I think Svendsen, Patrick, he went out 45 seconds behind. I think he can move up now from 10th, almost as far up as 5th, maybe even 4th.
Simon Foucault, Mike, we thought he was going to win the sprint, but he took the first half of the lap, the final lap, too fast. Is he controlling it now? Andy Bernbacher, one win this season. He only had one win prior to that. That came in Oslo at the end of last season, so certainly his form has taken a turn for the better. He leads the margin, just some 10.8 seconds. Lindstrom desperately trying to hold on to a podium finish. He's got an advantage of 1.6 over Alexei Berth. Danny Mesetic of Austria in 5th. And nice to see Svendsen. Svendsen is flying. He's gone from 10th to 6th over the last kilometre, and he won't stop there. Bernbacher with Fritz Fischer alongside to encourage him over the last kilometre or so. It's looking very, very good.
Well, the margin isn't huge, Patrick. Bernbacher, he looked tense coming around that corner. Tensions come into his whole body. But he's got form, he's got pace.
There are the chases. Bernbacher will have seen Alexei Berth and Danny Mesetic, who are just about to go around that little dip into the woods.
Just thinking, Svendsen could actually move all the way up onto the podium.
Svendsen at the moment is how far behind is he?
He's
just looking 40 seconds down. He could certainly get ahead of Mesetic. He could, if he catches Mesetic, he'll catch Alexei Berth, but I'm not sure he's going to catch Freddie Lindstrom, but we will see.
He's got to be there, yes. Svendsen like a rocket on the right-hand side.
My goodness, he's pushing hard. He goes straight past Mesetic of Austria and up into the top 5, having been down in 21st. There is Lindstrom. He's got company with Alexei Berth right behind him.
Svendsen is the ultimate hunter. He knows that he's already got these two. In his mind, that's all that's going through his focus at the moment, to catch 4th and then 3rd.
Give me a prediction on the top 3, Mike. Surely Bernbacher's done enough.
I think Bernbacher, Simon Foucault and Svendsen as a top 3. Sounds impossible, but I think that's the way it's going to work.
Well, that would be a phenomenal comeback, and he's going to have to produce a sprint to get into the top 3. It's a luxury ski into the stadium now for Andy Bernbacher. He's getting his 3rd World Cup win if he holds on to this lead. He's not there quite yet. He needs to stay on his feet. He's got to negotiate the climb up under the stadium bridge, and then that long 800-metre finish straight. Well, there is no doubt that being German helps in Oberhof, because you get this tunnel of noise, a tunnel of support that has to be worth 10 seconds on every 2.5K lap.
It does raise their game, and they do have many training camps here in the summer on these very tracks, but on roller skis with wheels on.
Well, 4 gold medals and a total of 8 medals he's taken at Junior World Championship level. Bernbacher has proving himself a class senior as well. The fight for 2nd goes on, and the fight for 3rd has almost been decided, because Svendsen has come out of nowhere. It's a phenomenal last lap from Svendsen. Remember, he started this last lap down in 10th position. What's he got to make up if he wants to move into 2nd? He's got another 13 seconds to gain. He's only got 500 metres to do it. I think he's actually going to find himself fighting for that 2nd, because 1 or 2 of the other chasers seem to have got a 2nd win.
Jakob Falk seems to have lifted his game. He really is chasing down, and he's only missed 2 targets.
Well, here we go, last 500, and Germany looking on anxiously. Mark Kirchner desperate to get yet another success. The season has just taken off for Germany after a miserable start up in Sweden, and it's Andy Bernbacher who gets the trees swinging. What a race he's had. 0, 0, 0, 0, 20 out of 20, and if you shoot that in a mass start, you deserve to win. Well, this is a great warm-up for the World Championships, which of course taking place in Ruhpolding, to the southwest of where we are now. Victory number 4 for Germany. They had a disaster in the relays. They should have won both. They didn't get a medal in either. But since then, nothing has gone wrong. They've won both women's events, they've won both of the men's events, and Fritz Fischer's team will certainly be looking for medals at the beginning of March in the World Championships. The French are still there or thereabouts. All sympathy for Simon Foucault. It's another podium which he'll be happy about, but still he has failed to get a win. Twice on the podium in 2 days. 2 silver places. That is brilliant from Simon Foucault. And Svendsen, well, what a comeback. 21st up into 3rd position over the last 3.5 kilometres. That takes some doing. Fack, Lindstrom, Burf, Pfeiffer yesterday.